Welcome to Life, the podcast that dives into life. It's open to life. We discuss and talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. My name is Adam Farrell, and I'm here with my co-host, Steve Ballard. Welcome back to Life Podcast. We're once again joined by Shadow Smiles Conor McGovern.
Back.
He's back for round two.
Back under the light.
Under the spotlight. Really pleased to have you back, mate. Thank you very much for coming on.
No, thank you for having me.
Obviously, the first podcast we had with you, we was getting excited about the corporation gig at Sheffield.
Yeah. Well,
and Conor got us a little free entry there, didn't he?
Yeah.
Blew my mind.
Oh, thanks.
Absolutely blew my mind, mate.
Went all right, didn't it?
All right. It was. We walked off, didn't we? I think you was second from last, weren't you?
Yeah.
And then I think you drive or something. I'm not slagging people off, but
Yeah.
the headline act we stayed for a couple of songs, and it's like, what a sort of.
It went down.
I'm not getting involved in that.
No, don't say, please don't. But I'm just
I'll
giving
just
you
say, it took a
much.
nosedive. Simple as
It really
that.
did, mate. It's so yeah. Check out episode 1. Obviously, you find out a bit more about Shadow Smile and what they do differently.
Didn't we get some videos of them on stage and stuff like that?
Yeah, I'm phoning me on pretty all
is
night,
it?
which annoyed me. Because when I get invited to a gig, I like to enjoy the gig. But obviously, being part of Life Podcast, we went there for Life Podcast.
Yeah.
It was
send us them across and I'll dub some in.
Yes. Yeah, we'll put
So
some on.
we'll put that a little bit in there for
But yeah, if you do get a chance to see Shadow Smile before we start, please, you won't be disappointed. The energy that these guys bring and Conor's vocals it's refreshing. It's very refreshing to see something like that going on. But yes, we're back talking about what we're going to talk about.
Broke your desk, sorry.
That's alright, you can break it.
Didn't mean to. Smash it.
Album.
Yeah, we got an album coming up. We're crowdfunding it at the moment, which is...
I want to dive into a bit about that.
Yeah, that's going well. Very well, in fact.
Is it?
Yeah, very, very pleased with that. And I think I can tell you a little bit about it today, which no one's really...
No, this is the Life Podcast exclusive, I think, isn't it?
So we're doing a concept album, which revolves around the 7 deadly sins, which I know it's kind of been covered before a lot in different ways, but we're kind of doing a different twist on it. So it's kind of like how the 7 deadly sins apply in today's world, and how because I've got this thing where I think like the 7 deadly sins is obviously it's a Christian teaching, but we're not coming at it from a Christian angle. But it's nothing against Christians, but it's just another way we're coming at it. So what my theory is that they're basically just ancient wisdom that's been passed through religions. So like every religion's got their own sort of version. You know, with 10 Commandments, you've got 7 deadly sins, you've got different things, and people have kind of forgotten it now. And it's kind of like almost like everything's wide open, and there's kind of a sort of gap in that sort of sphere of where are people going wrong in life, and why are people miserable, and why are they making shit lives for themselves. And so I can swear.
Yeah.
Say what you want, mate.
I have to check. I do it on live radio. It's like on these previous. So and it's just this thought of, well, how do the 7 deadly sins apply? And we sort of looked at it and we thought, okay, that actually you can find a lot of parallels between the things that are going wrong and the things that were going wrong centuries ago and millenniums ago, and it just seems so cyclical, and it's like we just don't learn. We just kind of go, okay, we're just going to keep. Okay, we've learned from that, and then 10 years later we've forgotten and we're back doing it again.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just kind of like applying different sins to situations that are going on now. So we kind of looked at like sin pride, and we wrote a song around that called Before Every Fall, which is sort of talking about the first half of the song is like, okay, we've got all these wars going off, and most of them because we're too proud to back down and say, actually, we're probably more alike than we are different, and we could talk this through. Instead, we sort of go, well, we better fight it out. And that's kind of...
When you're talking about wars, are you talking about actual conflict wars, or sort of wars that you see online, a Facebook sort of argument.
I think everything.
Yeah.
It's just that whole.
It can be adapted quite well, can't
Yeah,
it?
that's it. But there's nothing specific. I mean, there's a line that we can save the world one bullet at a time, which is kind of like the sort of the thought behind it. It's like, well, why do we solve our problems by doing that? And again, it's because we're too proud to do anything else. We're too proud to sort of really go in and address like the fundamental issues within ourselves.
You guys are deep. That's
I'm
why.
not-
That's why I love Shadow
So
Smile.
this is literally like proper.
I'm not a guru. It's just a thought.
No, but you're creative.
It's-
Do you know what I mean? And you well within your right to sit in the position you sit in, mate. It's absolutely the songwriting. That's what, as Adam will vouch, that's what drew me into Shadow Smile. So yeah, it's good. I like hearing about these little snippets of why and what you write. It's good.
But then we looked at like the other side of pride, which is kind of like the vanity element of it. So like, you know, proud of how you look and how you present yourself and all that kind of thing, and then proud in the workplace, and there's all these little things that make up, you know, what the sin, as people have termed it. But in my view, it's just kind of like something to keep an eye on. Do you know what I mean? It's more of it's same with lust. It's like, you know, lust was a pretty easy one to do because it's like we live in a world of like OnlyFans and all these other kind of things where, you know, it's a much more liberated world for sex these days. Like you can
Sex sells.
Yeah,
It's that
absolutely.
same for a reason.
I would say you can literally buy it. You might as well have it in a can.
Yeah, but then we live in a world where everything's on the table, but if you cross the line, there's absolutely no forgiveness, and it's kind of like you're done, and that's it. And who's drawn that line and where is it? Because we're not quite sure, and so you can cross that line, and you've been, you know, as they say now, cancelled, and that's it.
Yeah.
Your career's over, your life's pretty much over. But where is the line, and
Who draws it?
Yeah, who draws it? So, you know, there are obvious ones where it's like, okay, I don't know, extreme example, don't rape someone but then there are all the varying degrees before that where it's like some things are, say someone's into BDSM, for example. I mean, it doesn't actually go into this in the song, but it's kind of where it's like,
I'm a pervert.
Yeah. We're just seeing to be deviating just a little bit.
Wait for the music video.
Yeah.
You know, so there's the BDSM, but then where does the line happen? And I guess it's consent, but
it's the fine line between pain and pleasure,
exactly,
kind of thing.
and I'm in no position to make that distinction, and I don't know who is, and I guess it's a societal.
It's
level,
again,
when's
an animal's life worth more? When we're talking about meat eating, it's like, well, you eat a dog,
yeah,
but you'll eat a cow.
I'd eat a human.
But
I wouldn't.
no, but it's the same principle, isn't it? Where does that line drawn of a life is worth saving
Definitely.
when one isn't? It's that's a good.
That's
a good
deep
concept.
That's what I was saying to you guys earlier. Like, I think what we're doing is asking questions. We're not providing any answers. So don't look at the songs and go, they think that. It's like, no, like we don't think that. It's just that we want people to think about it and think, what do I think about it? Not what.
You want to ask questions.
Yeah, ask questions and want people to think for themselves about everything. Because
People don't do.
There's a lot of people who don't, and I think it's more prevalent than ever. And I think it starts when we were kids with TV. And then you go through the internet, and it's just like you've just got opinions forced on you constantly, and it's like there's these like sacred beliefs almost of the media, and you're just like, okay, that must be what I think, and then
it's brainwashing.
That's literally exactly what I was going to say. Is grade A brainwashing.
Yeah, and
it coincides with your singles that are out now. Like we
Yeah.
were saying downstairs, it's very much linked into it.
Yeah,
and that's the way the world's
linked.
going. So you're very, very current with. But people can't see it. That's a slight fear.
It's difficult, and it's quite scary, isn't it? Like you know, and then like, how much have I been brainwashed? How much have you? You don't know, because if you have been brainwashed, you know, half the time we're probably paying to be. You know, so paying for these Netflix shows or whatever, and there's an agenda all the time. So I don't know. But it's all just questions and try not to lose sleep over it. I think that's the key.
What's up, mate?
No, just checking.
All right.
I like to check.
How many songs have you got on the album?
There's going to be 10, I think. Some of them are sort of smaller songs, so some of them are more, I don't want to say interludes, but they're more kind of smaller pieces and recurring sort of motifs and stuff like that.
Is that like to tie
songs together.
Yeah,
maybe,
completely.
kind
So
of?
stylistically, it's a real journey. So it starts off in a very like it starts and ends as metal. So it's like it starts with traditional metal, it ends in traditional metal, and it goes in different places on the way between the two. So the concept idea of the style was I was reading Dante's Inferno, researching the Seven Deadly Sins. So that's, for people who don't know, is a book written in I think the 13th century. It's actually an epic poem, but it's a book for all intents and purposes. And it's basically a journey into hell and back. And that was the idea. So it's like you start in comfortable territory, you go into hell, and then you come back into comfortable territory. But it's kind of been changed, and things are a little bit different when you get back because you've had this experience. So that's kind of, I mean, the lyrics don't take you on that journey.
Wow.
That's just the musical theme of it. So yeah, it's been thought through quite a lot.
Massively.
So,
Yeah.
Was that sort of concept predetermined before the writing took place, or did you write the songs and think, actually, we could go on a journey with this?
no, it was in place. So me and our drummer Joe, we spent about
Joe is showing us a few demos, mate, and top marks for that drummer.
Oh God, yeah.
Wow. Well, yeah, kudos for that, mate.
He's earning his money on this one.
Massively.
Just a bit.
He got an easy ride on Digital God, so he's got a tough job now. Yes.
The legs and arms of steel.
See, Digital God. Again, it's that sort of...
Are we going to have the old Digital God fiasco again, like in the first episode?
Probably.
Where you just, everything just refers back to Digital God.
Well, this does, doesn't it? It's the seven deadly sins are linked to God, aren't they?
I mean, it does all. It's just all thematically linked. To be honest, it's kind of like the more I think about it. So me and Joe spent about 2 hours on the phone. I was just sat outside my house. I might have been here for the podcast, in fact, and I was on my way home.
Really?
Yeah, I think this is what happened. And
I
rang to Joe, and it was about something completely different. I was like, yeah, we could do with, because we're just talking about going into pre-production. Yeah, because it was after that gig we started pre-production. So yeah, so we started talking about it, and he was, and I think it was Joe's idea. In fact, he was like, "What about just like off the top of my head, something like Seven Deadly Sins?" And I was just like, "Yeah, something like that." I was like, "No, not something like that. That."
Yeah.
And then we spent about 2 hours just discussing and then I just sort of, I knew bits because I'd always been interested in sort of mythology and that sort of thing. So it was just, yeah, and it got really. And I thought, well, what's more metal than that for a start?
Yeah,
and so
massively.
Yeah, and I thought the video potential is pretty good with all that, the visuals you can use. And what I want to do, I don't know how this will come into fruition, but I want to make it all kind of gold and opulent. You know, like when you look at like an old Catholic cathedral and everything's like
All comes down to your colour grading and that.
yeah. So that's kind of one thing I want to do with it, but. We'll see.
For each video,
or maybe just the artwork. I'm not sure yet for the album. I don't know.
you know how you said like your music video and stuff like that, like takes you on a journey.
Mm-hmm.
Are the videos going to kind of do the same?
They will, but I think it'll be very much. They'll each be individual videos, and they'll have their own way of showing it. So what I'd probably do is try and show something. So it's like we've got one idea for a video, and it's totally out of left field, and our bassist came up with it today. And it's for it to be like the 1920s in a jazz bar, and it's for gluttony, to show the sort of the excesses that people were having in that time, and sort of applying it to that. So it will, but it won't be literal in the videos. It's very much we kind of tend to try and find a metaphor and do that visually instead of being. Some of it might be very specific to the song. Some of it might not be. I don't know. We'll see. It's all up in the air at the minute. So yeah, we've not recorded it yet. So
Whereabouts are you on this journey for the album?
So we finished pre-production, finished writing and demoing. We've got like not all the guitar solos are written, for example, but all the structures are written and the lyrics are all written. Everything's there. The song sketches are there. So I think we're starting to record next month. Yeah, April. As it will be.
Right, okay.
I don't know when this is going out, but
It'll probably be April.
So we're recording now. We're in studio as we speak, probably.
More than likely.
And it's going to be full on because we've got so much to do. There's like layers and layers. It's like we've done stuff with electronic bits before. Now we've got like orchestral parts and stuff that are going to be on. So it's going to be just a lot of time
How
spent.
will you get
in
the
studio.
orchestral parts on?
I don't know yet.
Right, okay, I didn't know.
Depending
we may
upon...
do it MIDI, we might do it. It depends, because
Yeah.
we're doing this crowdfunder, so a lot of it's going to depend how much we get together with that as well. So, we've got enough to make sure it happens for definite. That's kind of where we're at. But in terms of anything extra we now get is kind of like makes it bigger and makes the videos bigger and makes everything bigger. So
Let's just touch on that for a second. The crowdfunding an album. That's not something I've come across before, is it?
No, I've not seen anybody
It's
doing it. I
been
know it's
done.
been done.
Yeah, it's
I
been
know
done
it's
quite a
been
bit.
done, but I've not seen anybody do it.
But
Yeah.
we want us to do it a little bit different. So what most people do is they say, okay, you can pre-order it. You pay us. You basically just buying the album up front. So you're saying, pledge this much, you get a copy of the album. You pledge a bit more, you get a signed copy. Pledge a bit more, you get a handwritten letter from the band. Pledge a bit more, you get a video, for example. That's where or an exclusive T-shirt. We've kind of tried to make it a little bit more personal, where it's kind of like, yes, you've got those options. I mean, we've not got a video. We're not charging people for a video.
No.
That just seems insane to me. And they're not on Cameo. But we've got, so for example, one of the perks is you can pay a certain amount, and it's not a crazy amount, but you can pay a certain amount and you can come to the studio with us for a day and see how it all works, and you can sort of we might be laying backing vocals down to come and lend your voice to it, or be an actual part of it, and because that's kind of our ethos as a band anyway, is the sort of kind of DIY, but also kind of it's a fan base, a community.
I love the community you've built up. I really do.
That's my favourite.
I really do. It's fantastic, mate. I think that's another thing that just sets you aside from other people. Not you personally, but as a band.
Yeah.
Cheers. It's really, because obviously since we've met Connor, well, I know you've known Connor, but since I've met Connor and been to the gig and whatnot, chat with the rest of the band, it's sort of like, it's pretty cool to jump on and have a scroll through and look at all your band interactions. But I do want to make a recommendation for you.
Go on.
Your followers should be shadow smilers.
Shadow smilers.
I think you should have T-shirts done saying I'm a shadow smiler.
That's very good. Yeah,
I want one.
Okay.
So if you do get one, mate, I will buy that one.
I will do it. Yeah, sounds like a plan.
I had that idea driving home after the gig, I think.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm a shadow smiler now.
Yeah, that's good.
Anyway, sorry.
No, that's good. So yeah, I think that's and then like for example, you can there's one, and again, it's not an astronomical amount for what it's going to cost us. We won't make much on it, but there's you can have an acoustic set in your living room and stuff like that. Just so it's kind of a bit more. This is us doing something with you, not just you're buying something from us.
Have you got an acoustic set list?
It'd just be all the songs acoustic, and we've got a few covers that we do as well. So,
I don't know if it's separate, sort of.
I mean, we specifically wrote every song we've ever done so that it can be done in different ways. So you can always, say there's a song where there's a screaming verse. There is a melody for that I've written. That you just I haven't done it, or sometimes I have. There might be an acoustic version out there. So I try to make sure everything can be, because that's what I think a good song is. It can be done in any way. You can take it and you can do a jazz version, or you can do a pop version, or speed it up and make it a chipmunk dance version and stuff. So that's how I test choruses. If it sounds good, sped up.
Do you do Simple Man?
Do I do what? Sorry?
Simple Man.
What's that?
The band Simple Man, then the Skinner.
Oh yeah.
Do you do that acoustic?
Oh, I don't do it.
I would love to hear you sing that.
Okay.
I really would. Who did a cover of that? Oh shit! Carry on. It'll come to me.
I'll do it on the next
Shine Down.
All right.
Shine Down did a cover of that, and it
That's
reminded.
the good state of my head, isn't it? That's the state of my.
But he reminded me of your voice. I mean, he's a phenomenal singer, and he came on the other day. I was like, actually, that would suit sort of you guys. I think that'd be quite cool. Not saying do it, but.
Well, I mean, we need to. We've got, so when we do this album, when it comes out, which is going to be probably a year away from now, realistically, when you consider all the distribution and the video making and all that sort of thing. When it comes out, we are going to do a launch party, and what we're going to do is everyone it's going to be a normal gig in the evening. So anyone who's pledged to this crowdfunder will get invited, and they don't know this yet. In fact, so
do you want to say it?
They might know by the time this goes out, but they might not. But they will as soon as they watch it. They're going to get an invite to the daytime event as well. It's going to be an all-day event where we're going to be there hanging out all day. We're going to do a little acoustic set for people that have supported us, basically as a thank you to them. So that should be fun.
See, it's not all just take from you guys, is it? You do give.
Well,
Because a lot of people do, don't they?
Well, I think you've got to give value to. You can't just expect, can you?
Yeah.
And that is the problem. People see social media is a big one. People see it as just it's an advert, and they go, "Watch my thing, listen to my song, let's buy this." And it's
Watch
like,
this podcast.
what value are you giving to anyone? And that's the thing. You've got to give the value before anyone will do anything. And that's not a marketing strategy. That's just life. I think that's just what it is. And
True.
And if you are creative in that way, you the whole point is you'd be doing it anyway. You'd be writing these songs anyway. So,
But you offer a lot to people.
I don't know. We try.
You do though.
Yeah.
All these different sort of places and stuff that you can do. You can book you guys to come and do an acoustic set. You don't know, but you're surprising people and invite to an all-day party sort of with you guys.
Yeah. My favourite thing we did was sorry, I'm not even too now on. It's something that I quite enjoyed doing. Was we had a little auction, and it was basically the ultimate fan experience. We called it, and it was a T-shirt. Did you see it?
Did it go?
Yeah.
We saw it at the gig.
Yeah, every gig. So because this T-shirt is a ticket to any gig, any meet and greet, any event we do. So if you got, and there is only one of them, and we know who's got it. So if anyone tries to turn up with one, we know it's not them. So, but yeah, this is for anything. So even if we headline download, that's your ticket to download, for example. That T-shirt is. So yeah, and she's like one of. I should not mind me saying that's Katie. She's one of our biggest. She's been with us for. Probably since Beautiful Disaster came out in lockdown, I think she came on board, and she's just been like, one of our biggest fans. She's nice. She's been at every show, pretty much. So yeah.
Do you know her personally now? Did you know her personally?
Do now, but we didn't before.
You didn't?
No.
She just discovered you.
Yeah,
and just jumped on board.
So we did a cover of a Ghost, the band Ghost. We did one of their songs as an acoustic cover, and she's like. She runs like fan pages for them, so she spotted it, and then she was just like hooked on us. So I was like, yeah. So those covers do help sometimes. So
yeah, they do massively.
So yeah, she's been buying every bit of merch we've ever put out, and all that stuff. Yeah, it is crazy, and we're very grateful. And we've got a few people like that.
You'll get more, obviously, as
I hope
things
so.
progress. Yeah.
Even my dad bought a hoodie.
I know. I saw that. Bless him. That's cool.
My kids are fans now.
Yeah.
Like I was saying earlier, Shadow Smile. It's you're saying you appeal to.
You're inclusive of everybody.
We try to be. And I think, like I was saying earlier, we're a bit of a gateway metal band where people that aren't necessarily that into metal, or their kids a lot of the time, and they'll enjoy it. And I don't know why. I really don't know.
It doesn't matter.
But yeah, that's it. It just seems to be.
It doesn't have to be answers all the time. It's,
that's it.
It's something that works.
It's all about the questions.
Yeah, that's it. That's all.
What's been the hardest sort of thing for you guys to get going with this album? What's been your biggest obstacle so far?
I guess,
financing.
Yeah, I think so. Because I don't know if I mentioned this last time actually, but we had a few offers from labels to do an album, and but it was they were just dreadful offers, and like.
What is an offer? Because we don't know.
Yeah,
in the music
I
industry.
So usually what happens is they'll say, we'll give you an advance and you can record the album, right? And then that's great, and it's like, okay, so I've got a bit of money behind it, but then you go and do it, and then you owe them that money back. So the first load of sales, you don't get any money until they're paid off.
Right.
And their costs are always at like silly levels, so it's like, well, then there's this admin fee, and then there's this add-on, and it's the same in any business, as you'll know. And it's just like,
so they're lending you 10 grand, you need to pay 13 back of sales, something like that
before you see anything, and then they own the masters of it as well, so you don't actually own it.
Own your music.
You own the rights to it. You can perform it, but you don't own that master of it. You can't. They manage it for you, and it's like so. All right, so
in other words, if somebody was to play that, or wanted to use that in a film or whatever
game,
else, for example, or a
they go
game
through them.
Yeah,
they get
you have no say over
I get
that.
a bit of few crumbs at the end, and it's just like, well, I understand that it's business and that's how the world goes round a lot of the time. And I was thinking, well, actually, we can probably raise this money anyway, and the fans want the album anyway. They're going to buy it anyway, so they may as well buy it up front from us and maybe get some cool perks along the way, and then we can finance it ourselves and just not owe anyone any money. And there are a few things we can't do. So, for example, we can't really get reviewed by Kerrang, for example, because they only accept submissions from labels.
Really?
Yeah, we can't sell in HMV because we can sell in independent record shops, no problem. But then it goes to HMV anyway, so it doesn't matter, does it?
I didn't know if there's any open anymore.
But this is the thing, because that's the big
I
leverage.
thought you
power.
could put independent stuff in HMV.
I think you can, like your local one. I think you can go to your local one and speak to them, and the manager can they have like the manager's choice, don't they? Supporting the local
Something
scene
like that,
and
yeah.
stuff like that. But I think as far as nationwide, but the thing was that the whole leverage that the record labels have got is, okay, we can get you in all the record shops, we can get you reviewed. It's like, all right, well, we can get reviewed anyway. Like there's people that will review it if we want reviews. I mean, our fans will tell us what they think anyway. So
I think records and stuff like that now, though, are a thing of the past.
So who goes to buy records?
It's a different era.
Yeah.
Who buys Kerrang every month now?
Well, it's dead, isn't it?
You
It's
don't.
online only.
Exactly. So do you need a review on
This is
Kerrang?
it. It's like, and if it gets big enough, they'll cover it anyway. They'll have
Exactly.
to. So,
Everyone just streams.
yeah, and then it's like this. So that was the original thing as well. They were like, "Well, we'll upload it to streaming service." Like, well, I've been doing that for a year and a half. Like, why would I pay you all our income to do something that I'm doing anyway and can keep doing? And yeah, there are logistic things that would be easier with a label. So they would sort things out and take some of the management aspects off our backs, which I do a lot of. Our bassist does a fair bit of. He does a lot of the Spotify side of things.
Right.
Adam, our guitarist, he does some of the social media bits as well as I do. So there are things that could be outsourced, but again, if they do that, they're not doing it for free. So they'll do it for you, and it's nice to not have to do it, but then they want to cut for it. And
I think that takes a lot away, because online, if I comment on one of your posts, you've just headlined on download. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know you. Oh, really good. We're going to see you guys. Really good. And Shadow Smile like my comment. I want to know it's Shadow Smile.
Yeah.
It means a lot more to me.
Yeah.
Than
That's literally how we've got our fans, to be honest. Like the fans we've got is because we've replied to every comment. We've messaged people saying thank you for stuff, and it's those little interactions. That's like building legacy, essentially. That's like going, all right, we're real. We're not just, we're not faceless. We're actual people. People want to interact. I mean, that's how I got into bands. Like I used to watch documentaries about bands because you want to know who was doing this music.
Yeah.
In fact, sometimes like bands like Queen, right? I've been into Queen all my life.
Mm-hmm.
I barely listen to Queen now, but I watch tons of Queen documentaries. I read tons about Queen.
Do you?
Yeah,
Still?
even now, yeah. And same with Guns N' Roses. I barely ever listen to them, but I'll read or watch anything about them. So it's like I actually kind of now am more invested in their brand than I am in the music, I guess. Yes. And that's kind of how we've grown. And they've got people that are just like, they'll buy everything, and it's like
just because it's got Guns N' Roses or Shadow Smile.
Yeah, exactly, and you're just like, bless you.
Excuse me. Carry on. I'm allergic to my own cats.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh,
what a sausage.
Why did you buy cats that you're allergic to?
Well, I didn't know I was allergic to cats at the time when I bought them.
Yeah, I sometimes, I haven't for ages, but I used to go and stay with my auntie down in London, and she's got loads of cats. She's got a dog as well now, but they've just got loads of cats, and I'm a little bit allergic, so every time I used to sleep there, I used to wake up with just the sorest throat ever. It's like, I couldn't speak.
I get used to it after a couple of days, but it's like, when I stop out anywhere or I go away for a period of time, and then I come back to it, just sets me off all over again.
Yeah.
So,
what is it you like about Guns N' Roses? Or
Everything.
What first got you into Guns N' Roses?
I don't know. So my uncle was into Guns N' Roses, and he had the picture of the old Appetite for Destruction artwork, with the robot and everything, with the band one. He had that on his wall, and I think it was actually just the LP sleeve on his wall. I think, I'm not sure. Yeah. And it was just like, what the hell? What's that?
My uncle got me into Guns N' Roses.
Really?
Yeah.
It was like, I think I was like 8 years old, and I'm looking at this thing like, didn't really know the context of it, because actually I think the robot's raping a girl, isn't it? Or it's just raped a girl or something.
Is it?
Something like that. Something that it got banned
Something
for a reason.
anyway.
Yeah, it's just, back to that line again, aren't we? What not to do. That's one of them. Don't do that.
Unless consented, obviously, with lust and everything like that. Who draws the line? Who are we to say don't do it?
Well, yeah.
that wouldn't be rape then, would it?
No, true. True.
Let's move on.
Have to do some editing here.
Let's move on. But the only time rape can be said in a podcast about music.
Yeah. It's a big issue, though, isn't it? I suppose so.
But yeah, anyway, Guns N' Roses. What got you? So you saw the artwork.
Yeah,
that looks cool. A robot raping.
And then obviously there's the cross version of that artwork as well, which is really cool. And when you're sort of 8-10 years old, it's like that's cool, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I saw the music videos as well.
When you're still that age, sort of.
Yeah, that sort of time. Yeah, so I was already into like Queen at that point. But then Guns N' Roses were like the first like harder, and a bit of Iron Maiden as well. Crept in at the same time for the same reason, in fact, from my uncle there. And then my dad was getting me into like Alice Cooper, and then my mum was getting me into like my mum's like really into like a lot of 80s stuff like Adamant and stuff like that. But again, like a lot of visual stuff. So always visual. I think that's how I get into stuff. And then then the music was cool. So you just like it just sounded different. It was like all my friends were listening to like probably Spice Girls and stuff. And then some of them were just getting into like Eminem and stuff. And I liked Eminem as well. But then you just hear this sort of like bone rattling, bluesy, punky
Paradise City intro or something like
just
that.
What the hell's this? Like, this is cooler than that. And then you just that was it. I
didn't know if it was a certain person like Axl Rose that you really liked.
I love Axl Rose. Like I absolutely love it. But I got into Axl Rose much later, and then once I learnt about singing and how it works and what's hard to do and what's easy, and then just like because a ton of people slag Axl Rose off, and then you're just and I get it. He's probably a pain in the arse to deal with, but having been in situations where there's a lot of money riding on your voice being in shape on that night and you giving a good performance and the pressures that are there, I can understand it to an extent. And I think, when there's that, there were drugs and money floating around as well, which probably didn't help. But I think when people are all waiting on you and it's like, and you're not feeling good and it's hard, and not to sound bratty because there's people that dig holes, like I don't have to do that, but it's I get it. I get how frustrating it is when people are saying, your monitors aren't working, sorry. It's like, I mean, we did a show a couple of weekends ago, and it was like, you got 15-minute changeover. It's like, okay, cool, as long as our drummer can hear his click, and because we have a lot of stuff that's like orchestrated or on backing tracks like synths and stuff. And there are times where the band doesn't play, and that's all that's going on. So we can't do the show without it because it's an integral part of the show. That's what I say. It's like we don't just play songs. It's like it is a show. So I made that super clear. And then on the day it was like, yeah, we can't run your monitors. It's like, well, we can't play them. Yeah, that's as simple as. And they're like, oh, well, we'll try. Halfway through the set, because we'd all have monitors on, and I'd be able to hear what I can do. I mean, it's pretty important to hear what you can do. But we let things slide, and then so the drummer couldn't hear a thing, and it was he did a miraculous job of keeping it together. Like it was, I don't know how he did it. He kept it together, but I could see he did not enjoy that show. The concentration on his face, and we all had to be very on it and just.
Yeah, you couldn't go with the flow.
No,
it was all about looking at each other and. Am I in time with this guy? Am I in time? I mean,
luckily the crowd loved it, and they always sort of bring it up anyway, and I don't know what that is, but it's good, and I definitely feed off them. But I get it, and that's us doing a half an hour set when he's got to do a 2-hour set, for 6 months at a time away from home. I get where that comes from, and I try not to be like that if I could avoid it, but I think, I get why. He was a bit of a dick sometimes,
Yeah.
But then, to other people, it's like, well, you're living our dream. Why don't you just appreciate it or get the hell
again?
Out
who draws that line?
Exactly.
In what place?
Yeah.
But like, if you want art from people, you want good art, you've got to have it from messed up people. Because if you have art from people that are really normal, it's going to be pretty bland, and they'll be painting like Magnolia on like.
No, you're right. Same with music, isn't it? Well, music is art. It's
absolutely.
And all the crackpots are the best.
Yeah.
You're a crackpot, Connor.
Mental.
You need to be. You need to be.
Lots of issues. No, well, I mean, I think everybody who's creative has some bits of their brain that are probably a bit wrong, a bit wired differently. Not wrong, but like just sort of thinks differently or. Struggles with certain things. Like I've definitely struggled with mental health in certain ways, not necessarily in obvious ways either, but sometimes just like, I don't know, just sort of just struggling with things, struggling with different aspects of life that other people find easy, I think, and then I'll find stuff easy that other people struggle with. So it's very much swings and roundabouts. But yeah, but I think it's true. I think like most people that make anything like music or art, or even people that are just successful at stuff as well. So people that are like, I don't know, you get a lot of pro sportsmen and stuff like that have just got severe problems, and sometimes it's because the situation they're thrust into, you know, they get into the spotlight and all that stuff
too quickly.
Sometimes they're in the spotlight because they've got these issues. So I don't know, it's chicken and egg again, isn't it?
Do you think you could, just talking about that, do you think you could cope as a band and stay together if you woke up tomorrow with a multi-million-pound record deal? And right, you're going on tour, you know, 3 months' time, whatever. Do you think being pushed in that spotlight so quickly before your first album's released, do you think that would make or break the band?
It's a big question.
It's a good question.
It is. It's a good one.
For what time it is.
It's difficult because I really don't know, and because we do like argue some of it. I mean, me and our bassist argue so much.
Healthy.
Yeah,
Healthy
I
arguments.
think so. We're very. So if you're into Myers-Briggs and personality types, we've got the same personality type. We're both what's called the debater personality. So we're both ENTP, which is, it's just the bastard of everything. So we're argumentative, we're devil's advocates basically. So whatever the other one said, we'll just pick it. Not for any other reason than we're trying to make sure it's a good idea. So you pick everything apart, and then, but that when you're passionate about something, so say we're doing a music video and I've got an idea and he's got an idea, it's like you can nearly come to blows sometimes. In fact, a couple of weeks ago we nearly did come to blows. So
really?
Yeah, all the time. It never comes out. I mean, we've really fallen out in the past.
There's no wrong with a friendly jab.
It's never got physical, but we've definitely rowed a lot. But then it's always all right once because it's in aid of doing something good. Yeah. So it's not like you're falling out over money or anything like that. You're falling out over
ideas.
Yeah, and what means a lot to you. So
it's the passion coming out.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
it's the passion.
That's got to be tough.
It is. It can be tough. And then our drummer's he's very good at mediating a lot of the time, and
so he's the counsellor.
I guess so. Yeah.
That's you, isn't it?
What?
You're more of that role.
What, the counsellor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You try to talk people down on my social media and stuff. Like I'll go on there. My missus calls me the King of Bastards. That's my nickname because just like you, someone will say something about potentially. What about this? And they think I'm attacking them. I'm not. I'm just questioning their theory.
It's just mental sparring.
Adam will come along and he'll like mediate in the middle of both, won't you? Yeah. That's your sort of.
Yeah. So the problem I have is, and I know our basic, you might be the same, is that. Sorry,
you're just really breaking the desk, aren't you? You've got it in for this desk. It'll be flat by the end of this podcast.
It's not. So the truth is more important than someone's feelings.
Oh, 100%.
In a lot of ways. So, you know, not my feelings. I mean, my feelings are more important. But you know, say like we're working on something. It's like, okay, it's a bad idea, but he's written it. It's like, well, tough, because it's not good enough, and that's why everything goes through such scrutiny. That's why, for example, the guitar solos aren't there yet, because there's scratch tracks laid down and they're just improvisation, but there's no way in hell we're going to go, that's good enough, whatever, leave it on. It's like, no, well, how could it be better? Could that be better? Could this chord go here?
Yeah.
You know, why have you done that? And so, but then when everything's like that and every decision the band makes, there's an argument for every decision. So it's even right down to, I mean, last week we fell out over a gig, whether we should do it or not. And it was like it was, you know, when I look back on it, he was just sort of saying, is it worth doing? Do you think it's a good decision? But in my head, I was taking it as, look, I've worked at this and you're challenging me. And it's, so you get that sort of, it's kind of the sort of, the two lions as well, isn't it? It's the sort of, it's just, there's testosterone in there, and also it's like you've got people wanting to make sure that everything's being done for the right reasons, and
it's all for the better good.
Yeah, it is, and the arguments are worth having, and the upset's worth it, because if you didn't have that, we'd have some rubbish stuff out there. So,
yeah, no, you're right.
That's what I think.
You can tell what everything I've listened to, which I think is everything you've done. I've listened to everything on Spotify, even the acoustic stuff on YouTube.
Well, yeah,
so I think that's everything, and everything is on point.
Thank you.
You can tell arguments and debates go into it. Because you're not going to do it once a year and everyone be happy with it.
No,
at all.
No.
Not one bit. Have you got a placid member of the band?
Sort of.
Or who's the most placid?
So we've got, Adam, our new guitarist, the long-haired one. He's like the happiest man in metal, I think. I've decided. If you see him on stage,
happiest man in
he's
metal.
just so happy to be doing.
He plays Les Paul, doesn't he? Is it with a white? Did he have a white Les Paul?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
He
had a Mjolnir on.
Yes.
Yeah, because I called him about that outside.
Yeah, he did.
Like,
Yeah.
What's Mjolnir about? I don't know.
Just like it.
Yeah.
Well, I was hoping for a whole Norse sort of
he's
conversation.
Very much like, he's keen on just enjoying it, and I mean, I mean, we did a gig last week, and it was back at Cork again, and he was like, those big speakers at the front. He was like on top of them, like leaning over the crowd and stuff. He's just great. I've seen him like he's been doing a solo, like being carried by the crowd, like
really.
Surfing. Yeah. That wasn't in our band. That was in his old band, but he's gonna have to do that soon. You know.
Yeah,
massively.
Yeah.
Do you think you're going to help build up a relationship? Like we said last time, I think the frontman and the lead guitarist.
Yeah, well, I think we've already, because me and Kieran have already got.
Oh yeah, but Kieran,
so Kieran's.
Sorry, Kieran.
Kieran's another placid one as well. He's super placid, but he's placid until he's had a drink, and then he's fighting.
Is he?
Oh, so he's one extreme to another.
Yeah. So we've had.
So the alcohol drives him.
Yeah. I mean, so
it's his fuel.
Sorry, right, I'm gonna put that over there. So we went to. It was after a gig. No, we'd been recording, and we went to KFC one time, and we were drunk. We'd been. Oh, that was it. We got a free bar tab at a place called the Wicker Both Ends in Sheffield. So we got 100 quid free bar tab. So naturally, we got a couple of bottles of champagne, and we were just like,
all in.
Yeah. Obviously, chucked some money in as well. So we got loads. We just hammered all of us, and like Eve was there, and we were just wasted. And then we went to KFC, that was like a couple of doors down, and Kieran's just there going. So I've got this thing where I'll just like say, "Do you know what he said about you?" And it's not real. I just say it, and when they're sober, nobody takes it. So I like to say, "Oh, Ethan says he's going to."
You've always been a bit of a jokey person like that, though.
But then I did it and I think this is what happened from my memory. They might correct me, but I think I said that he wants to fight you. Like, it's a joke.
You're the
like,
biggest.
And then so he was like, this like you saw like the chest start going like fucking
Head starts going.
Yeah, and Ethan, our bassist, we call him Gerbil because his middle name's Gerbil, and it sounds a bit like Gerbil. It's like I don't know where he's from. Well, he's from England, but his family's from somewhere. It's like his Gerbil Todd. It's like a double-barreled name. So I started calling him the Gerbil Toad.
Antagonising again.
Yeah, there we go. But he's then something about Kieran was like said that he for some reason decided they'd be calling him a gerbil, and I was like, well, they don't know that's his nickname. Why would they be calling him a gerbil? He was like determined to fight these guys, so we had to just get him out.
Yeah, but the new Adam, he's a more placid sort of.
Adam's very placid. I mean, as far as I know,
you need some placidity.
Yeah.
Is that a word?
Yeah.
If not, it is now.
Placidity.
Joe, our drummer's quite placid in some ways, but then he's quite.
He's knackered by the signs of what you sent me. He's knackered all the time.
He's got to be. Yeah. So I mean, I'm pretty placid, really. It's not like we get like shouty angry. It's just
If you antagonise people, then fuck off.
Yeah.
Don't you?
A little bit.
The band will be there. Yep. No.
I don't know. It's just do things you think are funny, don't you?
We'll have to get Mr. Bass Player on, I think, to hear his side of the story.
Yeah, he just did a podcast the other day.
Did
he? Yeah. He was on Talking with Demons. They're called.
Talking with Demons.
Yeah, they do like rock music. Yeah. Yeah. I had something come up, so I let them do that one. Him and Joe, the drummer, they did it together.
Yeah. So,
because normally I do most of this stuff, but
he seemed to be quite a frontman, the face of the band.
Yeah, I guess so. They've done a few though. Like Kieran and Ethan have done some. Adam's done a few. Adam's good because Adam's good with the guitar community. So there's a lot of like YouTubers that are specific to guitar.
Yes.
So he's good with that. Kieran's just off on his motorbike all the time. So,
is he?
Yeah. I mean, Kieran's just in his own world a lot of the time. To be fair, which is that's just him.
Yeah.
Just
If he wasn't like that, he wouldn't be performing
Yeah, exactly.
as him.
It was funny because I talked to our producer about this, and he's just got a real knack for coming in, absolutely nailing something,
And going.
and then that's it. That's his bit, and
Yeah.
and that's how some people are. Whereas I'm just like, oh, it's all I do. It's just that's so yeah. I don't know.
It's to their own, though, isn't it? You need that
that's it.
diversity to.
And it takes some getting used to and managing sort of the different personalities and working out where you slot in and where everyone slots in, because it's hard, because sometimes you expect people to be the same as you, and if they're not, and they've got different motivations and different ambitions, it's there's a lot of conversations to have around that, I think. And
Are you very open as a band?
yeah, I think
Look, I've got a problem.
Yeah,
Let's sort it.
Normally, it's just me putting in the group saying, "What's this about?" Kicking off, or
It's good. You need to be though, don't you?
Yeah, because I think, and we haven't always been. I think we started out not being good because we didn't know each other as well. So the more you get to know each other, I think where a lot of bands go wrong and end up splitting up is because they don't be open and talk about, their strengths, their weaknesses. It's like, they'll chase, say someone's not paying their way, for example, and then they'll just be like, oh yeah, I'll give you next week, or that sort of thing. I've had so many bands split up because of that.
Over money.
Yeah. So it's always the thing, isn't it?
It's such a shame though, isn't it?
It is. It's just that things do
you know
cost
what I
money.
mean?
Yeah.
How many things are spoiled by bits of paper?
Yeah.
Or numbers on a screen.
That's what I mean. It doesn't exist half the time.
Yeah, it's just numbers on a screen.
Then sometimes it's like the principle, I suppose. So like if the band have paid for something, then one person's, and they're just sort of like, or thinking their time is more valuable than the rest of the bands, and that's why I was, that's why I'm keen to be like, with the band, the expectations from everyone are clear. Like everyone knows what they expect from each other, and
that's it. You set expectations, don't you? If you want to come on board with it, let's do it. If you don't,
when Adam joined, we were like, look, it might not be for you, and then he was like, no, that's exactly what I want. So there we go. That's job done.
Match made in heaven.
Yeah. So he's been. Yeah, it's not like I'm just kissing Adam's arse, but no, he's like really improved the band dynamics, really, because it takes some pressure off of Kieran as well, because Kieran's very good at writing. Like he is like just a hit writer. He can just knock something out. Yeah, and he's just like, well, that's that then. I don't know.
Wow.
Whereas Adam's a lot more composed, so Adam will take something away and he'll spend ages crafting it. And so Kieran's all the feel. He's like Slash, for example, where it's just like you just got that feel. Whereas Adam's more like, I can't think of someone.
Steve Vai?
Yeah, something like that, where it's technical, it's composed, it's a piece of classical music and an electric guitar, you know what I mean? So
that's Steve Vai in a nutshell.
Yeah.
To be honest.
So they bounce off each other really well, because there's a lot of contrast now, so it's a fuller sound with both of them, so there's a lot more different things going on.
Massively.
Yeah, so
massively.
So it's nice. It's a good dynamic. And it's
like
I say, confrontation is there a lot, but
it needs to be there, I think. Well,
if
you need that sort of
you need a bit of
grittiness.
10 rounds of bare knuckle boxing.
Well,
if that was just
what good music's ever come out of a nice little afternoon tea? Like, it's just
Nothing.
not going to happen, is it? So
Simon and Garfunkel.
yeah,
But even
maybe.
Bark or something, he even had his ear cut off or something like that. I'm sure that.
Who's that?
Bark, the old Renaissance. I'm sure he did. He lost an ear, or had half an ear. One of them were.
Was it Bark?
I think
Van Gogh.
Van Gogh.
Van Gogh.
Yeah, he's a painter.
Well, painter then. Same thing.
He cut it off
painted
himself.
his blood.
That's pretty metal, isn't it?
Somebody. I think it was some art or some.
See,
some
other artists that's
creative.
Yeah, they're all. Yeah.
It'd
I
be
was trying
great
to think if Bark did.
when we finally get our studio done to get you all in, wouldn't it? Get the whole band in.
Yeah.
It'd be quite nice.
Big
See how brave you are then.
It's fine. It is very much like it's the same when one of us is there as when we're all there. It really is like there's no minced words really. It's like we'll banter each other and it's like that sort of thing as well. Like if we can take the piss out of each other, but if someone else does it, it's like we'll all gang up and give them shit. So it's very much like that
pack mentality.
Yeah, it is.
It's good. You need to be like that.
Yeah, it's like, but I mean, I think the question was if we got loads of money and got
that's about an hour ago.
How far we went away from it? Sorry, it just occurred to me.
No,
I don't know if it would make or break us, because say if we got loads of money, I would for example, be on the tour bus with my earphones in, reading, hiding away anyway. So I don't think a lot of change because we know each other very well already.
But can you cope with it? Like we're saying about social media.
What are you on about the fame aspect
just
of it?
everything. Could you cope?
I would, if we got famous, like big famous,
Yeah.
I'd delete everything immediately because I wouldn't want anyone getting in touch or, so I'd definitely, I'd delete my personal socials, definitely. Like just, because
you won't keep them just for friends and...
I'd make a new one for friends and
yeah.
family and just sort of hide it from the world because I think...
Have it under an alias.
Yeah, and because people just go through it and they'd be looking for something
to
trip you up on. And,
that's a good point.
People can manipulate anything out of context as well, and so that's something that's occurred to me a few times. Actually, I think like what have I said in the past or done in the past that people could then twist, and I think that's got across everyone's mind these days. Which
I listened to a podcast today, Rich Shields' podcast with Nick Faldo. Funny enough, we're all going for a game of golf next weekend, hopefully. But yeah, and he was saying, how do you think media pressure has changed since Nick Faldo's days, which 80s, 90s, I think, to present day? It's like, would you have liked social media to Nick Faldo? And his sort of concept was, I prefer it now with social media because I can put right what the press are saying wrongly.
Yeah, that's true.
So there is that aspect of it. It's like, well, you said this here. No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So there's that sort of...
I think it makes people more accountable as well. So, like, say, for example, back in the 80s, you had the Sunset Strip, Motley Crue, Glam Rock.
I'd love to have gone there.
I've been, but they weren't there.
Have you been to Whiskey Go-Go?
Yeah.
Have you really?
Yeah. I've been there. Been Rainbow,
Bar and Grill.
Yeah, I've been all on the street.
Me and my missus fantasised about getting married in Whiskey Go-Go.
Yeah, you should do it. Yeah, it's
but we
good.
don't believe in marriage, so
That
one up.
It's cool. I mean, I don't think it's very good for the kids, but it's very cool.
I would love to.
But
anyway, sorry.
I can't remember what I said. Keep doing this.
Going back to the 80s, Sunset Strip.
Yeah, so all the stuff they were getting up to, they've written about it in the books and stuff, but social media makes you now more accountable. You couldn't do it, so you'd be strung up like immediately. So, like, say, some of the stories that they say, and like you read the Heroin Diaries by Nicky.
My favourite book.
Yeah, it's great.
That's why my son's called Nicky.
Yeah. But you couldn't do it, so it's.
Yeah.
I think it's killed the rock star in a lot of ways. I think.
Was it in the dirt? Sorry, where Tommy and Nicky went camping. And they got one of the drug dealers to there's that in the tent just empty in the middle of nowhere, and a massive limo tried getting across the field with like loads of drugs in for him or something.
It sounds like it.
And I think that's one of the songs that got the influence from "We're the Drug Lords of America" or something. There's a line in one of the songs.
Right. That's what it's like.
Yeah. Can you imagine that? You're out in a tent with your mate, you're phoning a limo up to drop you some whatever off. It's got to be quite crazy. But that driver will be straight on Twitter, won't he?
Yeah, that's it.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah. There's just no way. So even like me and my friend were we went to Vegas. I went with two friends, but me and one of my friends were out on the Vegas Strip, and we ended up in a limo. We were going to this club, and we just didn't have any idea who it was. And the guy was called Big Mark. So we just met all these weird characters, but this guy was called Big Mark, and he was like, "Yeah, man, I'll get you," and you get like a bottle to take with you and whatever spirit you want, and it's just you don't pay us, you just tip and all this sort of stuff. We ended up in this limo, and he was like saying, "Yeah, last week we talked to the driver, who was this woman, and saying like people have been shooting at the limos, like just and what it turned out was I don't know if I'm gonna get shot for saying this, but they basically got in trouble with the mafia for some reason.
Who, you did?
No, they did. The people who ran these. Whatever, I don't even know what the enterprise was, whether they were promo for the club or I have no idea. I was hammered on the strip in Las Vegas, and it was just like
rightly so.
Well, what else do you do? But I just remember seeing, and I was thinking, and I was saying, why are they shooting at you? He was like, oh yeah, they just hate limos. I was like, no, people, and then when you're drunk and a bit brave. And you're speaking to some sort of gangster and going, no, people don't just shoot at limos. And I think back and I don't know where this story's come from, but it just reminded me of the Nicky Six stuff. It's like, even that now, like I'm thinking, I don't know where I ended up. I had a bus slip when I got back, when I woke up in the morning. I'd sent a message to my friend, and I was laid sort of on my other friend, with a bottle of something. I don't know what it was. Some sort. I think it was tequila. I don't even like tequila. Tequila and I just like. I think it was Snapchat. And I think I put like Viva Las Vegas on it. You know. And so, but even that, like, I don't know what happened that day. And like, I'm thinking like.
But if that now was in the social media spotlight,
someone would have taken a picture. We would. I don't know what we did, but like,
you at least know what had happened to your lip.
Well, yeah, I do know what happened to it. I think I was just drinking, and my mate bent down, and I looked down, and he stood up.
Oh right.
Bottled me. So well, yeah, I don't think I was in a fight, but
could have been.
Might have been.
It could have been.
You just never know.
Would you go back to Sunset?
Sunset, yeah, in a heartbeat. I love
What's it? Because I only know it from reading about it and watching old documentaries about it, and that sort of been in the back of my mind. Like, if I went, would have been disappointed. It's like not driving your favourite car. You're not sleeping with your favourite supermodel. They say that though, don't they?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Stuff like that. It's like...
I think it's very. So what we said, because me and same friends, we went to LA and then Vegas, and when we were in the Sunset Strip, and we were sort of saying like we're 30 years too late.
Yes,
like it is different. It's obviously you've still got
the posters on the lampposts that people are promoting the gig for the Friday night, and because that
you have, but they're not for gigs. They're for like escorts and stuff now. So it's
sex sells, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's a red light district a bit further down now. So if you go further down into West Hollywood, it's very, there's a lot of sex workers. Although there were, I mean, I've not been for a couple of years. 2018, I went.
Where's that, mate? Just tell me.
But you go into the clubs there, and you've still got live bands playing because they don't really on Sunset. None of the clubs are like dance clubs. They're all still rock to some extent, and you've still got the sort of the older dudes that are still part of that scene, and the makeup's crispy and coming off, and they've got the big hair, and they're still wearing the lycra with the beer gut. But then you meet some, because like when we went into the Rainbow, the guy, I forget his name, but the guy from Fear Factory was there. We saw him.
Fear Factory?
Yeah. I forget his name. My mate was talking to him. Ghost were playing a gig next door at the...
What did the Fear Factory guy look like?
He's a big guy, long black hair.
No, moving on.
And Ron Jeremy was in there. I don't know if you know who he is. Famous 70s porn star.
I think I've found a few VHS tapes in my time.
he was there. So you've got these like this like cross section of like Hollywood people.
That guy.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
Oh right.
Yeah, he was there.
Yeah, you still get people going in, don't you?
Yeah,
like,
they were there.
Lemmy when he was about, I think he was a regular.
Yeah, he had his booth there. I mean, he wasn't there when we were there, but he had a chair at the bar, and you weren't really allowed to sit in it, and it was his chair.
He's dead now.
Oh yeah, he's not sitting there now, bless him.
No.
But yeah, it was his. When I first went, he was still alive, and he was still frequenting it, but he wasn't.
Even that though, can you imagine?
Just
to sit in the same room as Lemmy.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about, heritage. But unfortunately, time goes on. It's like dance music will start coming into Sunset Strip, and these old legends.
They've kept it away as much as possible, and I think there's.
Well, Lemmy was alive.
Yeah, I mean, I've not been for
like
4 years since I've been, but it's because of COVID, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still got that rock and roll heart to it, and it's still.
Can you walk down there in Glam Rock gear and not look or feel out of place?
I mean, I didn't, but
no,
I'm the wrong build.
Not
ridiculous. At night, on a Friday, Saturday night, you could
still mingle.
Yeah, they're still there.
That's nice.
And you've got the sort of kids that are into it as well.
Yeah.
So but I think less people, because like by all accounts in the 80s, you couldn't walk down there.
You couldn't move, could you?
There, I actually went to the car park there, and I don't know the name of the car park, so I can't get into trouble. But the guy, we drove into the car park. Because when me and two friends went, and we basically took it in turns to drive each night. This was my night to drink, and I pissed out of the window on the freeway, which is bad. But anyway, separate thing. No, I pissed in a bottle and threw it out the window. That's not quite as bad.
No.
But yeah, so we went into this car park, and this guy was like, "Okay, it's $15. No one says anything about what you go up to in here. If you guys want to do whatever you want."
In the car park,
Yeah. So I think he thought we were going in for like a bit of fun together, so I think it was that kind of area, because it's like the red light district's a bit down the road and all that kind of thing. we were like, no, we just want to park, to be honest. It was just like that sort of atmosphere still sort of there, where it's just like anything goes. It's still, if you've got the money, we got your disease, as Guns N' Roses.
Yes.
So it's still a little bit like that.
That's nice. In a bad way.
Because it's the last Outlaws, isn't it? It's like it's the last of the sort of gunslingers, I guess.
It's the only thing that's left of that whole era of music, isn't it?
Yeah.
Would you say?
I guess so, yeah. I mean, there's not much, is there, I suppose. It's...
That's where everything was created.
Mm.
Guns N' Roses, Motley Crue, they was all created at the Sunset Strip, weren't they?
Yeah, it was big time, wasn't it? And then even like, go further back, you had like Alice Cooper and like John Lennon used to hang around there in the Rainbow. Even Marilyn Monroe used to go to the Rainbow.
Was Rainbow named after Rainbow the band, Deep Purple sort of thing? Was they named after the Rainbow Bar? Was the bar named after them?
The bar was there before them, for definite, I think.
Was it?
I think maybe they were named after the bar.
Oh, it might have nothing to do with it, but I didn't know if it was
I don't know, to be honest.
Connection.
But yeah, I know Marilyn Monroe famously went on a date there with someone
Did she?
else, another famous actor, I think. Yeah, they sort of give you the spiel when you go. Well, when they worked out we were English as well, they loved that, and they were sort of like, oh, you guys British? Yeah. So they want to tell you everything about the way they work and all that sort of
They
thing.
don't instantly assume you're from London, though, do they?
Do you know what?
'Cause most people that I've met that are American, they just seem to think England is London.
Yeah, there's a bit there. So I went I was in a lift and there was this guy, an elevator, as he would say. This guy was like, "So where are you from?" I was like, England, yeah. He was England. Is that near London? I was like,
wow.
Well,
this is what I mean.
London's in England, but it's not near it. Yeah. And then it was like, how far from London do you live? And I was like, oh, quite a ways. So yeah, that's so 3 hours. Like, oh, well, that's not far. I was like, forgetting the scale
Everything
of America.
everything to them's like a 15-hour drive or
like,
something.
How far are you from Texas? That's 2 or 3 days.
Yeah. It's insane, isn't it?
Yeah. I'd tell you what, I love driving over there, though. That's my favourite thing.
Yeah, I thought it'd be quite boring.
No, because we did the Pacific Coast Highway, so we did from LA to San Francisco. Yeah, that was good. And we stopped over at a place called Pismo Beach, which was nice.
Motel?
Yeah, got a hotel on that one. So
I'd love to do that.
That's the only motel I've ever stayed in that one night because I really like my luxury. I don't do camping or anything like that. Yeah,
do you?
Nah.
Do you not?
No.
Oh.
Can't do it.
I'm right tempted just to take him.
I wouldn't go. I'd run off.
Why?
Because I don't like getting dirty, and I don't like.
Yeah, but it's being one with nature.
Yeah, well, I'm not. I'm not one with nature. I left nature. No, I love going for walks in the countryside, and I love spending time there. But I need a shower, a good shower, a private shower at the end of the day, and I need a bed.
Not a stand-up. Use corner of your towel washed outside of your bollocks and your arse crack, and then just don't use that for the rest of it.
Can't go to festivals unless I'm playing them. I can't do that. Hate it.
How would you be in a luxury camper van?
If it was just me and my wife, fine. If there's anyone else, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I'm not good with bodily functions and stuff like that for people, so. I'm much better left alone.
I'm the same.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I'm 100% the same. That's why I pulled out this weekend.
Yeah, but that's why you like.
But when
going out,
I love wild camping. Yeah, it's a drug.
My wife loves that, and she is always on me to go, and I'm like, no, go with someone else.
Does she go wild? Yeah,
she has done. Yeah. Her and her parents used to go wild camping.
Yeah.
In all sorts of places.
Yeah,
they've done it in Scotland and stuff, and then. I think I can't think what the area is called. Lake District. Yeah, I've done there as well. But I've not done that. No, I won't.
But that's my idea of. I'll just go on my own. Just a tent, sleeping bag. That's it. And just go. It's so therapeutic for me.
Yeah, I get it. I do get it, and I think I live out in the sticks anyway, so I can just go for a couple miles walk from my house and be. In the middle of nowhere, see the stars and everything, and then that's why I like living where I live. I couldn't live in the city. I used to, and I didn't realise for about 5 years why I was miserable, and it's because I lived in the city and I was just
surrounded by shit all the time.
Yeah, and because I hate it because I'm quite extroverted in some ways. I like being sociable and going out, but I like to
you
come
like
away
your
from
retreat.
it. Yeah. So that's why living where I live now, I'm 10 minutes drive from the motorway, which is fine because that means I can get everywhere. But I've got Sherwood Forest next to me as well, so I can just go out there and just
it's gorgeous.
Pretend there's nothing else.
Yeah.
So I get wild camping, but I just can't do it. And I think I had a few experiences as a kid, bad experiences camping, like just absolute torrential rain, and I basically never had a good experience of it, and I don't intend to start now because the bad experiences.
So your wife's just got to go on her own. Off you go, love.
Her mum will do it and stuff, so
Right.
they'll do it. I mean, my parents, they used to have a caravan, used to take it all around the country and stuff like that, but
Yeah, I don't like people, mate.
yeah, no,
To some degree. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't go in a camper van with people.
close proximity.
Yeah,
all
it just
fine, yeah.
no. I'd end up flipping out, and I don't flip, but I'd
It's
end
like-
up chilling someone. I know I would.
On gigs, I like going separately to them. I don't like tour bus. I don't like tour van. I mean, sometimes it has to happen. You have to get a van and all that.
Yeah,
But in this country, I can pretty much always justify going on my own and driving there.
Yeah.
Even if it means anywhere in this country, you can get there and back for 100 quid. So I can take 100 quid here and drive instead of, doing that.
Yeah.
I would do that and lose my fee.
that's fine. A bit panicky. Like 3 Peaks sort of stuff. It's like shit. I'm not shitting myself, but I'm dreading that bit.
Sharing the bus.
Just in a bus for 5 hours after the absolute knacky. Just come down from a mountain.
Sit in the front.
Do you know what I mean? Who's the driver?
Sit in the front with a driver. Yeah, but then you've only got one person to contend with.
Yeah, it's just.
If you're in the back, you're going to have 15, 16 people or
can't
whatever
be
to
arsed with
contend
people.
with.
What's we doing 3 Peaks?
National 3 Peaks.
Yeah. We was doing it
A couple of years ago, weren't we?
a couple of years ago.
COVID scuppered it. So we fired it back up again.
Yeah, I don't fancy that either.
No, I was just about to ask you. Do you fancy coming?
Well, do you know what? I don't.
We're staying in hotels.
Maybe then.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we're going. We're going on the Monday. Hotel Monday night to Tuesday at Ben Nevis, and then Tuesday evening we start the walk. The next night is the only night where we'd all be in a minibus, because if you was to drive
See, I'm
it,
twitching there, mate.
Yeah, same. I'm putting me off.
if you drive it though, you'll be too tired for the rest of the time.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you've put me off.
Yeah.
No, it's not a night in a minibus, though, is it?
No, it's not.
You're travelling in between mountains.
Yeah, you're
that's
travelling
all.
in between mountains, so you'd like
How many hours sleep do I get?
you'd get
4 hours.
4
4
5
hours
hours,
sleep.
And then 5 hours.
and then 5 hours.
So it's hotel. Leave the base of Ben Nevis.
See, I like to have my full night in my hotel as well, so I like to have my cup of tea there.
Oh, you will.
Oh,
You will
that's-
do,
yeah. So it's
There's
Monday
only
night.
one night that you'll kind of not.
I'll be a bit broken.
Yeah.
Monday night, we arrive in Scotland.
When's this?
I'm pushing for premiering.
I've rang Premier in. That's what I've contacted.
I'm pushing for luxury.
But at
I
the
want a
moment-
breakfast in the morning.
Yeah. I'm looking at, for the first one, we rock up there. There's tea sorted, so you don't have to pay for that. That's already within the room.
When
You
is
get the
this?
room.
20,
I've been looking at one with a full
23,
spa and everything, and swimming pool
Yeah,
and
that'll
the
do
lot.
me. I like a spa.
You know what I mean? I thought before we go, I want a bit of luxury. I'd rather pay the extra 40 quid and have something nice. So I'm like, let's all get a decent.
We'll keep you informed with
Oh,
details.
yeah, let me
Yeah.
know if I'm not gigging.
But the itinerary seems a bit like 7 o'clock done to 7 p.m. We'll start climbing Ben Nevis.
Get back down.
Up and down
midnight.
for midnight.
That's not how long it takes.
It's 24 hours, 3 highest peaks in the UK in 24 hours. That's the
Yeah.
challenge.
So there's
Ah.
Ben Nevis in Scotland. Drive to England to do Scarfell. Drive to Wales to do Snowdon.
Then we
All in
drive back
24
down.
hours.
Then we hit Scarfell in the Lake District
Set off for that. I
At
think
about-
it were about
5-6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
After sleeping on the coach. I'm hoping I'll be that knackered. I'll just headphones in, blinder
That's
on.
it.
I
Everyone's,
imagine you will be.
everyone's going to be
Everyone's been
asleep
saying.
anyway.
Then you climb that.
So there's
Come
no
back down.
talking there.
Then it's 5 hours from Lake District to Wales. Climb that, come back
See,
down.
I'm not going to Wales.
No.
Oh, I'm kidding. a bit of a running joke. My next door neighbour's Welsh, and I do like him actually, but it's a bit of a
And then it's a
joke.
luxury hotel. And then it's like a Premier Inn
Okay.
when we come back down. But it's for charity.
Yes.
What charity is
That's
it?
why we're doing it. What's it called?
This
Endeavour.
podcast switched round. You're now asking
I know,
the
yeah,
questions.
well,
Look at that,
Is
eh?
it Endeavour?
Yeah, Endeavour.
Okay.
And then
They specialise in. I mean, we've not even met the charity yet. We just know about them
we're
and
in
they're on
talks with
board.
them.
They specialise in sort of. Is it? I don't know how to put it.
It's
Without offending
young,
someone.
it's young adults that have had troubled upbringings and troubled lives at that point in time where they're going through adolescence phases and stuff. So they're quite difficult kids.
Yeah.
And it gives them that release, that different side of education and all that kind of stuff.
To the outdoor life,
Yeah,
basically.
to the outdoor life.
Okay,
And
cool.
what skills are transferable from learning this that you could put into use in, say, a factory job or in a manual job or whatever it might be, because a lot of them obviously might not be academic.
But we've got a minibus sorted. I think there's going to be 10 people, 12 people in total.
Yes.
16-seater minibus, so it's not crammed.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
It's not too bad. We've got a mountain leader that's going to be leading the expedition.
Yeah.
All health and DME is going to be doing all the times and everything. So it's pretty planned out.
Yeah.
It'll be.
That sounds good.
Keep it on your radar. Just keep
Let
it
me know.
in the back of your.
September 26th,
Next year.
2023.
I could be doing
I'm
it.
sort of like we've planned it around a full moon, so we get the most light for the nighttime
yeah.
walks.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It'd be nice. It'd be good to do.
It's for me. It's a bucket list thing
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is for me. It's a bucket
to
list.
climb the 3 highest mountains in 24 hours. Takes some doing,
Yeah, it will. Yeah.
including driving. The driver will mess you up if anything. Traffic, road shut.
Yeah.
Because if you fail your challenge, you fail, don't you?
Well, you just won't tell them, would you?
It's all official. It's all clocked.
But then do you have to give the sponsor money back?
No,
No.
Oh, well, that's all right.
no, it's just a personal thing.
Yeah.
It's like, what's the point in doing it?
Yeah, yeah. No, I was just thinking if you had to
We're
give them
aiming
money
to
back.
achieve it within the 24 hours, but it's not going to be a clause,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
to
sure.
speak, like a
No.
legal clause. If we fail it, we fail it, so long as we complete the challenge. If it takes
Yeah,
us
and
2
that's-
days, it takes us 2 days. But but I am completing it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's one of them. I'm not stopping unless I have a medical problem. I'm not stopping.
Yeah, that's fair.
So yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm forward to.
Well, we'll try and get everyone to do it. The whole band. Should try and get all the guests to do it. See if everyone will do it.
All the
Get
guests?
some right money. Everyone you've had on. Well, no, because then we have to have too many people on the bus.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I want to keep it minimum. Minimum people. Special.
minimum people, but with enough that it's going to make it worthwhile doing in terms of
Sponsorship and stuff.
sponsorship.
Yeah. No, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be alright. Do you want to wrap up?
Yeah, I think so. I think. Is there anything else you want to add?
No.
Any
just,
other plugs? Any other?
no, I think we've got loads of gigs coming up, but
Yeah, what is sort of
Go
like
for
your
it.
summer sort of schedule looking like, or you?
we've got one sort of. We've got a few festival things. We've got actually they're quite scattered
You've got an
around.
all-day one at Sheffield, haven't you?
Chesterfield, that one.
Chesterfield weekend
Yeah,
festival. Is it?
that's a charity one. That's for Sophie Lancaster Foundation, which is, I don't know if you remember some years ago that she was
a horse. I've got a horse in mind.
no, not to do with horses. She was the girl who was a goth who got beaten, and then
At Whitby.
There was a.
she ended up dying.
At Whitby.
I'm not sure where.
I think it was during a goth weekend at Whitby.
Was it?
was it?
I think so, because when I went to the goth week, there was loads of flowers laid around a bench.
Oh, they always.
Or is that just to remember?
I think that's just
Right,
a
okay.
remembrance thing for her because they do a lot of fundraising for the foundation
Right.
there. But it's basically a group of youths beat her and her boyfriend. He was critically ill, but he managed to pull
Just
through.
for looking
which-
different, I presume.
Yeah, exactly that. It's individuality. So, and they try and raise awareness for that. They actually got on. They consulted on a storyline for Coronation Street a couple of years ago, and the similar story they incorporated it to try and raise awareness of that kind of thing. So it's just kind of supporting people to be who they are without being
Yeah, of course.
subjected to abuse, and it's in this girl's name, which is so it's something that we obviously believe in.
So when's that?
That's a Easter Saturday, I believe. So it's
Is that end of April?
yes.
Yeah.
The podcast will be by then, won't it, Adam?
Should be.
So that's that's a good one. That's at the county in Chesterfield, which is a venue we've not played Chesterfield before, so that should be good. We've got Rock in the Bowl, which is at Don Valley Bowl, the old stadium site in Chesterfield, which is Sheffield, sorry, which is loads of that's got loads of big gish bands on. I can't think who's on it now. Orange Goblin on it. I don't know if you remember them. Doom sort of stuff. Loads of bands are on that. That should be cool. And then we've got then we're at Winter Rocks at Corp, which is I don't know who's headlining that this year. God, I really should know, shouldn't I? I'll just tell.
There's that many stuff you've got to remember. It's not.
And then we've got Hammerfest, which is in Birmingham, which is got Lordy on.
Hey.
I can't again.
I like a bit of Lordy.
Blaze Bailey is on that as well. Remember Blaze Bailey from Iron Maiden?
Yeah.
He was their singer briefly, but he was in Wolfsbane as well.
Yes.
Yeah, good, great singer, lovely bloke. One of the nicest blokes in metal, I think. I worked with him when I worked at Corp, and he was of the sort of fairly big stars that came through. He was very normal and nice, and I related to him because I said I drive to shows where I can on my own. His band came in a van, and then he came about an hour later on his motorbike, and I was like, yeah, that's what I'd do.
People think that's egotistical, but
nah, it's not. Space.
Yeah.
He was sick to death of. Actually, one thing he did that was clever, I thought, was because he's obviously a solo guy now. He had a support band, and then his band were the support band minus the singer when they came on. So it was like he'd basically hired them as his back band. Then they supported him, so it helps them raise awareness and make money being his backing band, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
That's a good idea.
Good way to help a local band, I think. Well, an up and coming band. So yeah, got loads of little festival appearances.
It sounds like the majority of the time going to be working on this album and getting that.
Yeah, that's it. So it's
getting that
just
sort of down
in between, because that's the thing, we couldn't commit to all the summer because it was like, if we don't do the album now, we're going to be doing festivals all summer.
Yeah. Then
we'll come to do that in autumn. Autumn into winter, when we're all going to get flus and COVID and stuff like that. So it's going to end up being not finished until next spring, and then that puts us till next autumn winter release. So
you've got to make a sacrifice.
Yeah, we've got to do that, and it sucks a little bit because we've still not had a full season of gigs yet since we started, because we got pandemic, then we got we got album. So, but I think it's good because it means we're not overexposed and no one's sick of us seeing us live every week and stuff. So.
I don't think people will.
Well, maybe
with that array of songs, from the new album and
keep it coming, and I think, then we haven't arranged it yet where we're going to do it, but we've got to do an album launch, like I said, a show where we do the invites for people that have supported the pledge fund, and then also the proper show in the evening, which will have a couple of support bands on as well, but I don't know who they'll be yet because I don't know who.
Will you run that show yourself? Will that be your show?
Yeah, we'll book that.
Right, okay. So you'll book the bands. So you'll be paying the bands and all support bands and everything like that?
Yeah, we'll take the ticket money and distribute that between the bands and work out a split. Hire the venue and everything, yeah. It'd be...
Have you got an idea? Corporation or somewhere like that?
I don't know, maybe. Maybe not.
If it's somewhere like that, I'll definitely bill for that.
Yeah. It'll be somewhere like that. I just don't know if it'll be that.
No, I mean somewhere localish.
Yeah, it'll be probably Sheffield, realistically.
Around here, so then I can pop home sort of tea time and come back for the night, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think we might be doing it. Actually, we've also got another show which could be fun. This is just a really random thing where they message us and ask us if we do it, and that's another one at Corp of all places. We're like their house band now, aren't we?
Yeah.
But it's a Linkin Park tribute show coming to town.
Ah, yeah, I saw something about this on Facebook.
Right.
Yeah, and they were like, you've obviously got a bit of Linkin Park influence. Do you want to come and play? And I was like, yeah, why not? And obviously they're thinking, well, we can sell some tickets, so they get more people at the show. But at the end of the day, it's just like, well, it'd be fun, and yeah, it's nice to get out and play. It'd be a bit of because that's November, so we'll just have probably the first single out by then as well. So it'll just be like a nice sort of be sick to death of studio, and we'll just get out and play.
Yeah,
play
that's
a
it.
show,
You just want to do it then.
Yeah, so I think that's it. We're just taking on stuff that
whatever comes in. You're not really pushing anything,
fun.
just focusing on the album and
if
taking on what.
Fun. I mean, we've turned down a lot of shows for the summer, which we don't like doing.
Because I can tell now that album is going to be class because you're putting the time aside for it. You're not just need money. We need to get gigs and. And
that's another thing why the crowdfund helps as well, because we're not scraping, going to try and get the money by gigging.
Got to play this gig to do that on the album.
So we've really avoided that, and I guess the pandemic made us think that because we've never had that luxury either of having just shows to make the money. So it's always
You've always
been,
had to think outside that box.
always had to be resourceful with it.
And it shows. It shows now.
Yes. Well, the merch is like it's
I
become
love
like a
the
clothing
merch.
line. Right?
I love the new. Yeah, it is.
It's just
I love the
constant.
new ranges you've got. It's like, I don't know. I'll scroll on my phone. I'll say, oh yeah, I like that. I'll get that. But then there'll be a video that auto plays underneath of a gerbil in a fucking, I don't know.
What our basis?
Yeah, your
Washing
bassist
machine.
in a washing machine going round or something. I'm like, and then I forget to order it.
Yeah, no, it's
But no, it's really nice stuff.
cheers.
I love the skull. I love the
We've had the
Gothic
gerbil,
stuff.
you know, is that interesting, clearly, that you forget?
No, do you know what I mean? Though? Don't tell me when you say.
I know exactly what you mean.
That's it. I've finished on Facebook. You come off. You don't.
No,
You don't. There's always another video.
Yeah.
Always something clickbait.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Clickbait.
Mate.
Can the gerbil survive a washing machine? I'll find out. I hope it does. But yeah, that's what I've not got around to. But check out the merchandise. It's fantastic.
We're dropping loads all the time at the minute. It's I spend a lot. Looks like I do a lot of the designs for them, so it's like not the drawings per se, but a lot of some of it. But so some of the designs are by pro artists. Some of them are just what I've knocked together, really. But getting better at it, and just sort of trying to. I don't know. It's just another side of the creativity.
You're creating a
process.
brand, and that's what's
Yeah, well,
important.
that's it.
That's what's
really trying
important.
Yeah, and 'cause my big thing is try and make it wearable and not just like. I mean, I know that T-shirt is a Shadows Now, but that is just the logo.
Yeah.
But that's sort of the sort of the standard tour T-shirt, whereas we wanted a range as well. So it's kind of like, you look at something like, I don't know, like Drop Dead, for example, clothing, and it's an alternative, or Kill Star, for example, and it's like, it's not a band line, but it's all that sort of imagery, and we kind of want it to be like that, where it's like it's just super wearable and it just
I wear this everywhere. I wear it to the gym. I wear it just to chill out in. I wear it to work.
I go all over in it.
Yeah,
Yeah, mine. Yeah, I go all over in it.
yeah. Well, that's the idea. It's just to make it.
It's not.
I've
a
even been
one-set
on jobs
t-shirt.
and stuff like that, filming in it.
Really,
Yeah.
that's it. It's all promo.
Not that it's in a t-shirt I've got, people, but I do get me
It's funny
get my
'cause
money's worth.
I've normally got a shirt because obviously I've got loads. So it's like, I'm normally in one, but yeah. I don't think I've been in one on either of these podcasts yet, but
Do people come up to you and say who are Shadow Smile?
they have done. Yeah. And
It's me.
I tell you what's nice is when you're walking around town and you see one, and it's like it's someone you don't know,
And they don't know you.
Yeah, and it's like,
Do you go up to them?
No.
Why?
Because I don't want to. I don't know.
Really?
Or sometimes like I have like sort of got a nice T-shirt to people, but
Yeah.
I've never like gone. Oh, that's my band, because
I would have gone thank you for supporting or something like that.
yeah, I don't know.
I know you don't like
I'm a
people.
bit, I do. I love people, but I don't like people.
Yeah, that's what
And I'm a bit awake. So
You're reserved.
Yeah, I don't like to. That's bother people as well because I don't like to be bothered. I don't mind it if someone comes up and says, because that's happened as well when I've been at, like, usually at shows, but like, say we're doing a show in Sheffield, for example, and we'll like nip out to get something to eat, and you'll always see someone who's coming to the show and like, oh, it's you, and you're like, oh. Right, and it's always nice to see them and to say hello and stuff, but at the same time, I wouldn't want it like, every day when I'm trying to do stuff in day-to-day
We were
life.
speaking about that, weren't we? On the way back from Somerset.
Yeah.
It was like,
Yeah.
at what point do you drop the fame? What did we come up with? What was the best sort of fame to have? Somewhere like you get recognised in your specific area of
Yeah.
expertise, like Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah.
She can get recognised everywhere.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that
she's
would
never going to
drive
escape
me.
it. Ever.
Drive me
Yeah,
insane.
same. Yeah.
But someone like Rick Shields, who's a golf podcaster,
Yeah, it's fine.
He's only going to know from
very
the golfing
famous
community.
among the golfing community. I think that's a nice level.
Yeah.
I think that's the good thing about being in a metal band, because you're never going to get sort of, it's not. It'd be different in 1987 because everyone knows Slash, but or Ozzy Osbourne, everyone knows him. But in today's world, I think as long as you're in metal, I think you're never going to have, that sort of, even like the biggest metal bands, so like Avenged Sevenfold. The average person walking down the street is not going to see M Shadows and go, "Whoa, it's you!" It's going to take a metal fan to do that. So, I think that's, even James Hetfield probably doesn't get bombarded that much.
No,
no, he might do, but I don't know. I can't
debate.
All right, who would get more bombarded, him or Dom Jolly?
Who's Don Jolly?
Trigger Happy TV. Hello!
Wow. That's a
I
blast from
think
the past.
Metallica. I think James Hetfield.
Yeah.
Because there's
depends
more
where you
Metallica
are,
fans
yeah.
than there is Don Jolly fans.
Yeah, I didn't know he was, to be honest.
Well, just,
Do you know-
the only reason why I asked him and he come to mind were because I've just watched The Island with Bear Grylls celebrity one and he was on it. And I'm like,
Well, maybe
is he
him
really
now,
a celebrity?
Like, maybe like after that, maybe he would.
Sorry,
I don't know. Like, it's weird though, isn't it? So I was having a weird conversation about whether.
We're good at wrapping podcasts up, aren't
Sorry,
we?
yeah.
No, it's no, please go.
Yeah, it's
Please
alright.
go on, mate.
We've still got the questions to go through.
Oh, yeah,
we had a fan
forget what I
questions.
was saying and do that because my thing
Who's
was
got them?
about
You got them?
something
Have I
totally
got
I
different.
ain't got them.
Yeah, you've got them.
Have I got them?
Yeah.
When did I get them?
It's so weird. I don't know.
I need to put a live podcast on the back of that so it looks like one of them cue cards. Did you send me on Facebook?
Yeah, probably. Don't know. Sounds like what I do.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You did. Right, so question number one.
I've not read them either. So
Have you not?
No, I was like,
Well, how can you have not read them when you sent them?
I don't know. Well, I just copied and pasted.
Put your phone down. Camera etiquette.
I copied. I've
Question
seen that
one.
they're there, but I don't know what they say. So it could
So
be.
Katie has asked, where would be your dream place to play a gig?
I'd like to headline Coachella or Download, but Coachella would mean that we'd got like the mainstream, which is the opposite of what I just said about the last question.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah.
But it would mean we'd transcended metal, so that'd be pretty insane. But probably like just to be headlining would be
Download.
right. Yeah, or like any sort of that level stuff would be the dream, and it's not an achievable dream for most people, and it might not be for us, but it's a good ambition I think to have.
See, I'd just be happy at Fozzy level.
Yeah, I mean, wherever we get to is great, and I'm appreciative of the journey. But if we're talking dreams, I think headline
Dream big.
festivals.
Dream big or go home.
Well, exactly, that's it. You might as well
Exactly.
you sit in your bedroom if you're going to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Jamie, what is the end goal for Shadow Smile?
I don't know.
Can you put an end?
This is the thing, because I've kind of got it planned out for this album cycle and maybe the start of the next one. So like where we're going to go with that and what level I want to be at by then. And where I want to be at this album, I need us to take. We at least need to be consistently able to do a tour around the UK and draw. That's kind of like, and I don't put any cap limit on that. I don't say like pubs or clubs or arenas, but that's the sort of goal with that. So long-term goal is just to keep it building and see where it ends up, because I don't know what the future holds for the whole entertainment business, let alone the metal scene. That's it. So it's kind of the end game, I guess, is to just be
Retire a multimillionaire.
maybe.
Lots of platinum.
Yeah.
I can't even speak.
Go on.
Platinum
Yeah.
albums.
But I think just to have put out music that we're proud of is probably the real one. I think that's the only thing you can do, isn't it?
We've got Aaron. Is he asked these
Lead and
three
talk.
questions? Aaron, what are your
Sneaking in
three
three.
biggest vocal inspirations?
Well, probably Freddie Mercury, Axl Rose. I don't know the third one. I don't know. There's too many, because it could be M Shadows, it could be James Hetfield, it could be loads of people.
We've got two definite.
Yeah.
Two definite.
It could even be like Michael Jackson, or you know, just like there's loads of great singers. I don't know. 3's too hard.
Okay.
It's too hard.
And then he said again, top three bands. I think it's the same person
Of today.
of today. Yeah, top
today.
three bands today.
So is that the ones I like today, or is that the bands
Your
that
top
are around?
3 bands today.
As it stands today.
Right.
That are still together.
They're still
Today.
together. Right.
Today. Not yesterday. Not tomorrow. Today.
See, I don't listen to a lot of new stuff.
I don't. I could tell you 3 bands today. To be honest.
I mean, they've been around for a long time, but Ghost are a massive one for me.
Ghost.
I love Ghost, and everything they do is amazing. And their new album that came out last week, I don't know why I'm plugging that for them, but it's a great album. still around today. See, I'm not going to say Guns N' Roses because
They're not. It's not.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not bothered at the minute. As much as I love them, and I probably would see them if they were touring, but Avenged have got to be in there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of someone current that I really don't like anymore. I don't know.
All your current music people.
Shadow Smile.
Yeah, Shadow Smile.
Shadow Smile. And how often do you struggle with writer's block?
Oh, nice.
That's a good question.
Nice question.
I like that
Good
question.
one.
That's a good question.
Whenever I try and answer these questions, clearly.
Yeah. Fan questions.
It does happen.
I mean, is it more when you're tired or when you're trying to force something through?
Yeah, it's when you force it, I think. I'm very ruled by my temperament, and if I'm not in the mood, it's just no point trying. So it's just like, if inspiration takes me, then I'll do it, and if it doesn't, then there's so much to be getting on with. Like, I can be doing merch, I can be doing...
So you don't really suffer from writer's block, then?
Not really, because I guess if I tried to do it every day, then... But I don't have to write a song every day, thankfully. So, yeah. It's not really... I mean, I've not got a song that I've not finished the lyrics for, so... I guess it's just a matter of waiting until it's right. So I don't know what the real answer is to that.
Okay.
You don't suffer from it.
Yeah. Next question, Ellis. Where did you meet the band, and were you friends before you were a band?
Was friends before, not friends now.
Different stories for everyone. So the first one I met was Joe, our drummer, and I met him because we were both big Avenged fans, and we got talking on maybe Facebook years ago about it, and someone introduced, I don't know who, and we ended up doing a little band together back then when we were kids, and well, he was more of a kid than me, 'cause he's a bit younger than I. And we did like 2 gigs or something, and then I ended up storming out because the guitarist annoyed me once, and that was it. And never went back. And then years later, we were looking at starting Shadow Smile, and I was like, who's the best drummer I know that I could contact, and he was in my head, or something. I messaged him. Kieran, I knew from when I put gigs on in Sheffield. He was in a band that I'd put on a few times, so I knew him, and yeah, we were kind of friends before. Not close, but we knew each other, and we'd say, we'd chat and stuff. So
Poached him.
I did poach him from a band.
That's great. Poaching.
Well, they were splitting up anyway. They were on the verge, and I was just pushed them off the cliff. I think that was. But he's still friends with all of them, and
give him a slight little milk.
They all just do different musical things as well. Like, their old singer was a girl called Beth, and she does a project with another friend of ours. So it's like we still know everyone around that circle. Ethan, literally, we only know him because he joined the band. We had put out an advert for a bass player, like old school, but bass player wanted. He responded, and we had him. And then the same with Adam. I think actually Ethan found Adam. Adam had advertised that he was looking for a band, and we were rumming and ahhing over whether to have another guitarist. We'd actually tried a guitarist out previously, and we've not really spoken about this, but we tried a guitarist out previously who was very good. We all liked him, and lockdown happened basically, and we came to the conclusion there was no point bothering, forget it. And then one day we just came across Adam, and we just got on and gelled really well, and it just came. So we kind of decided we weren't going to have another guitarist, and then it just kind of came with Adam.
Organically happened.
Yeah, it just happened. So, and then the other guy, we just ended up. I mean, we still talk to him. He's still a good. He's not like our best friend or anything, but he's a good guy, and we see him around sometimes at gigs and stuff, and it's always like friendly. So there's no hard feelings. I don't think. I hope anyway. I don't know, but. So yeah, that's how we met, and yes, sort of, some of us were friends before, but not all of us.
Cool.
Not all friends now.
So the last question is from Katie. Is it the same Katie or a different Katie? What is your favourite Shadow Smile song and why?
Favourite Shadow Smile song? I don't know. That's tough, isn't it? That's like favourite children, isn't it? It's who's your favourite kid?
Yeah, I've got one.
Have you?
You beat me to it. I was just going to say the same thing.
I really don't know. I think they've all got like their own special place. I think out of the first three, so we did first three with one producer. So that's Digital God, Left Hand Path, Beautiful Disaster. My favourite of those three is probably Digital God because it was like the first single put out, and it's got a lot of traction as well. So it does. It's
Do you think that's going to be your anthem, sort of your Shadow Smiles anthem going forward, where everyone expects to see when you're doing these festivals?
I don't know, because You're Safe has been big. Like it's been like when we did the show last weekend. Like I was shocked. Everyone was singing it. Like and that's never happened.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, like, this footage, and I'm like,
wow.
Literally like giving the mic to fans and they're singing it, and it's like, that kind of made me like think I like performing again, because I'd gone for ages thinking, the gigs are the sort of annoying bit that I have to do, but now I'm just like, shit, that's fun actually.
Yeah.
And so I think You're Safe might be
Your favourite?
That, yeah, maybe. But Nameless is good as well live. I really like that. I don't know.
Pick one. I'm going to pull a good out in a minute.
Marionette's great as well because
You added more to the mix,
I know, but the reasons are different. So like Marionette, for example, me and my wife wrote that together. That lyrics, so that's got a special little place as well. But I don't know.
Is that your favourite produced finished song? Not the writing, not how you come up with it.
Maybe it might be. I don't know. Maybe You're Safe because it's got the whole band on as well. It's got that Adam on it. And yeah, that feeling when everyone was singing it was like really cool.
Yeah.
So,
what's your favourite, Adam?
I would probably say for me it would be Nameless.
Yeah, that's a good track. Really good track.
A few people like Nameless as well.
Yeah.
So my least favourite one is Left Hand Path. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. I find it a bit dull. I find it a bit generic. And
See, I prefer that to Joiners.
Do you?
Yes. And that might be a bit...
They might be my two least favourite though. I mean, I like Joiners.
Joiners is... Oh, they're all good.
But yeah,
we're talking like...
yeah.
If you got to pick a worst.
The thing with Joiners is it's the hardest one to sing. Like the chorus is just stupid. I don't know why I wrote it like that because it just goes to that high. It's like it's a note that it has basically no effect on the song. Like I could have done any other note, but it is the before the fire comes. But it's like an octave up, obviously, and everything. It's like and it's just that note is very like taxing, just where it fits within the passage as well.
Is it good just chuck that exercise in now and again though?
That's it. It's like I've always said, write it first, worry about live later.
Yes.
So
nice.
if you worry about doing it live, you won't write anything good. So
yeah.
But yeah, join us.
You hit it though.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, it's not like you don't step up and you don't do
just made
it.
my life easier by not doing. But yeah, I think. But join us.
And to be fair, you could do what Freddie Mercury does on a lot of his songs. He changes it and drops it.
Melody, yeah,
you know. I mean, look at when he did live at Wembley.
Yeah, like virtually none of the
original
melodies.
Exactly.
It's great, that skill, and do you know what's annoying about Freddie Mercury with it? I would have to work those melodies out. He knew where to go. Yeah, it's just like his musical knowledge, his theory was that good. He just knew. Right, I'm not in the spur of the moment going, am I going to hit this note? No, what's a good counter melody? It's like, right. It's like us going, right, it says, shall I use the word cold? No, think of a different word for it. But that instantaneous of going...
It's not a good guitarist for me.
Yeah.
It's very similar. Your hands are up here, but you need to be down here.
Yeah.
How do you get there efficiently?
Yeah.
They just know the scales off their head.
And stuff. And I do know my scales, but it's just that sort of... I guess because, someone like Freddie had done that many shows, that many tours over that many years, that you sort of... You know where everything is. It's you don't have to panic, so it's just you're managing it. Whereas like if I was going, I'm not going to hit this note, I'd probably just go right. Don't do it. But luckily.
Oh, like that.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. As long as they start singing all the songs.
So we've got Digital God and you're safe for your 2 favourite tracks?
I think so. I don't know. If you ask me tomorrow, I'll probably say 2 totally different ones. I love Nameless as well, because Nameless is about Hollywood and all that sort of thing, so I really love that as well.
Mm-hmm.
But You're Safe's probably my favourite vocal performance as well, so I think that's probably...
Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic.
Miles.
I think it's You're Safe what he's done that. I just love how it's a big FU to the establishments, personally.
They both
Digital
kind of go as well, aren't they?
Yeah, massively, mate. Massively. It's like we've spoke about tonight. It's all about media. That media control. Media was.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Was media an Egyptian? Was media an Egyptian god? Goddess?
So there's Medea.
Medea.
That's ancient Greek and.
Yes, Greek. Yeah.
So
yeah, is that it?
I think so.
Thank you very much for watching, guys, and please check out Shadow Smiles. New album release. Adam, you'll drop a link in there, won't you?
I shall.
Get on board the crowdfunding. I think it's so refreshing and inspiring to see a group of guys just thinking out of the box. Just to get stuff moving.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's just do or sit at home, isn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, get on board with Shadow Smile, give them support, and obviously thank you very much, Connor, for joining us again.
No, thank you for having me again.